Cristiano Ronaldo dos Santos Aveiro, known globally as Cristiano Ronaldo, is a Portuguese professional soccer player widely regarded as one of the greatest players of all time. Before he became a global icon, before the Ballon d'Ors and the Champions League triumphs, Cristiano Ronaldo dos Santos Aveiro was just a boy from a small island in the Atlantic, Madeira, Portugal. Born on February 5, 1985, in Funchal, young Cristiano grew up in a modest home with his parents, Maria Dolores and José Diniz Aveiro, and his three siblings. Life wasn't easy. His father worked as a kit man at a local football club, while his mother took on cleaning jobs to support the family. From the moment he could walk, a ball was never far from his feet. The narrow streets of Madeira, filled with hills and uneven pavements, became his personal training ground. With a worn-out ball and makeshift goals, he would spend hours dribbling, shooting, and perfecting his skills, refusing to stop even when the sun had long set. His older brother Hugo and his two sisters Elma and Katia would often watch him play, sometimes laughing at his intense passion for the game. He wasn't just playing, he was living and breathing football. He would play for hours on the streets, using anything he could find as a ball. He would kick everything in sight, bottles, socks, even oranges, if he couldn't find a proper ball. Despite their struggles, there was one thing that set Cristiano apart: his relentless passion for football. His mother recalled how he would often skip meals just to stay outside, perfecting his dribbling and shots. He only cared about football, she once said. When he did go home, it was only to watch football on television, studying his idols and imagining himself on the grandest stages of the sport. But even as his talent shone, young Cristiano faced an uphill battle. His family was not well off, and making it as a professional footballer felt like a distant dream. Yet for Ronaldo, giving up was never an option. By the time Cristiano Ronaldo was 7 years old, his footballing ability was already turning heads. He joined Andorinha, a small club in Madeira where his father worked as a kit man. Wearing jerseys too big for his small frame, he played with an intensity that set him apart from other children his age. Even then, his obsession with improvement was evident. He would train longer than anyone else, practicing his dribbling, shooting, and footwork for hours. At Andorinha, Cristiano's raw talent began to shine, and it wasn't long before he outgrew the level of competition around him. He moved to Nacional, one of the biggest clubs on the island, where he continued to dominate. Coaches were amazed by his speed, agility, and ability to score goals effortlessly. But even as he excelled at Nacional, Cristiano knew that staying in Madeira would limit his potential. His dreams were far bigger than the island he called home. At just 12 years old, Cristiano faced the biggest decision of his young life, leaving Madeira and his family behind to pursue a professional football career at Sporting CP's prestigious academy in Lisbon. It was an opportunity few would ever receive, but it came with a heavy price. His mother, Maria Dolores, was heartbroken at the thought of her youngest son living so far away. His father, though proud, struggled with the reality of not seeing his boy every day. Alone in a new city, far from the warmth of his family, Cristiano was homesick. He missed his mother's cooking, the familiar streets of Madeira, and the laughter of his childhood friends. The other kids at the academy mocked his Madeiran accent, making him feel like an outsider. Many young players would have crumbled under such pressure, but not Cristiano. Instead of breaking him, the hardships only fueled his determination. With no family nearby and no distractions, he immersed himself completely in football. He trained harder than anyone else, spending extra hours in the gym to build strength and perfecting his technique on the field. He was obsessed with self-improvement, pushing himself to the brink every day. His speed, his footwork, his hunger, it all intensified. He wasn't just another kid with a dream. He was a force of nature, driven by an unshakable belief in himself. By the time Cristiano Ronaldo was 16, his name was already buzzing within Portuguese football. His rapid rise through Sporting CP's ranks was astonishing, so much so that he was fast-tracked into the first team, bypassing several age groups. His dribbling was mesmerizing, his footwork electric, and his hunger to improve unmatched. But his career-changing moment was yet to come. One of the key figures in his journey was a childhood friend from Sporting's academy, Albert Fantrau. According to the story, during a youth match that would determine who earned a spot at Sporting CP's academy, Fantrau found himself one-on-one with the goalkeeper. Instead of taking the shot, he passed the ball to Ronaldo, allowing him to score and secure the coveted place. When Ronaldo asked him why he did it, Fantrau reportedly replied, because you're better than me. While the exact details of this story remain debated, Ronaldo has since expressed his gratitude and is rumored to financially support Fontrau as a way of repaying the favor. But it wasn't just kindness that propelled Ronaldo forward, it was his relentless drive. By 2003, he was not just another talented youngster, he was a sensation. At just 17, he had already made his debut for Sporting CP's senior team, and his performances were drawing attention from top European clubs. However, one match in particular would change everything. On August 6, 2003, Sporting CP faced Manchester United in a pre-season friendly at the Estadio José Alvalade. For Ronaldo, this was just another chance to showcase his skills. But for the Manchester United players, it was a nightmare. From the very first whistle, the young winger tormented their defense. He weaved past defenders effortlessly, used his signature stepovers to leave experienced players scrambling, and delivered pinpoint crosses that left United's backline completely disoriented. His pace was terrifying, his confidence unshakable, and his ability to take on defenders one-on-one was unlike anything they had seen before. By the end of the match, United's players were in awe. Club captain Roy Keane, defenders Gary Neville and Rio Ferdinand, and even assistant manager Carlos Queiroz all urged Sir Alex Ferguson to sign him immediately. The buzz in the dressing room was undeniable. This teenager had something special. Sir Alex, who was already aware of Ronaldo's potential, needed no further convincing. What followed was a transfer that would make history. Just days later, Manchester United moved swiftly, agreeing to a £12.24 million deal to bring Ronaldo to Old Trafford. It was a record-breaking fee at the time, making him the most expensive teenager in English football history. When Cristiano Ronaldo arrived at Manchester United in 2003, expectations were high, but so were the doubts. He was a raw talent, a teenager with dazzling footwork and mesmerizing stepovers, but many questioned whether he had the substance to match his flair. English football was known for its toughness, and Ronaldo's slender frame made him a target for defenders who had no patience for showboating. He had the talent, but could he survive the physicality of the Premier League? His debut against Bolton Wanderers hinted at something special. Coming off the bench, he immediately electrified the game, dribbling past defenders, winning free kicks, and delivering dangerous crosses. Old Trafford erupted every time he touched the ball. But as the season progressed, the reality of English football set in. Defenders kicked him, pundits ridiculed his excessive tricks, and even his own teammates grew frustrated at times. He was brilliant, but inconsistent. Determined to prove himself, Ronaldo embraced the challenge. He dedicated himself to improving every aspect of his game. He sat him down, urging him to focus on efficiency over excess. The stepovers were great, but what mattered was goals, assists, and winning games. If he wanted to be the best, he needed to become a complete player. Sir Alex Ferguson knew he had a gem in his hands, he just needed to polish it. More than just a coach, Ferguson became a mentor, guiding Ronaldo through the toughest phase of his career. He spent extra hours in the gym, transforming his once slender frame into a powerhouse. He worked tirelessly on his finishing, turning himself into a lethal goal scorer. He perfected his free kicks, practicing relentlessly until he developed his now iconic knuckleball technique. By the 2007 season, his transformation was undeniable. He was no longer just a flashy winger, he was a match winner. That year, he led United to the Premier League title, scoring 23 goals and proving himself as one of the best players in the world. But it was the following season, 2008, that truly cemented his status as a superstar. Now wearing Manchester United's iconic number 7 jersey, Ronaldo produced one of the greatest individual seasons in football history. He scored an astonishing 42 goals, leading United to another Premier League title and their biggest prize of all, the UEFA Champions League. In the final against Chelsea, on a rainy night in Moscow, Ronaldo delivered again, rising above the defense to score a brilliant header. It seemed like the perfect fairy tale ending, but then came the penalty shootout. As Ronaldo stepped up for his kick, the pressure was immense. He hesitated in his run-up, trying to fool the goalkeeper, but his shot was saved. Devastated, he stood in the rain, covering his face with his hands, fearing that his miss had cost United the trophy. Tears streamed down his face as he watched Chelsea captain John Terry walk up to take what could have been the winning penalty. But fate had other plans. Terry slipped, sending his shot off the post, and United were given a second chance. Moments later, Edwin van der Sar saved Nicolas Anelka's penalty, and Manchester United were crowned champions of Europe. Ronaldo, still emotional from his earlier miss, collapsed onto the pitch in tears, this time tears of joy. He had helped United conquer Europe, and despite his penalty miss, he was the undisputed star of the season. His extraordinary performances earned him football's greatest individual honor, the Ballon d'Or. At just 23 years old, Cristiano Ronaldo had officially become the best player in the world. But for him, this was only the beginning. His hunger for greatness was far from satisfied. If you like our channel, please kindly subscribe for more football documentaries and cool contents. Do you love Cristiano Ronaldo as much as I do? Kindly write "God bless you, Cristiano Ronaldo," and "God bless me" in the comments section.